Hey everybody, this is Coven the Ranting Raven, bringing you a topic about WWE. That's right. I'm a huge WWE fan myself, but for those who might not know, WWE was formerly known as WWF, and it's a wrestling corporation that's owned by Vince McMahon, and is currently labeled as sports entertainment. Now, WWE has been around for a long time, which means it has a large amount of people all over the world who know about it, whether you're fans or not. And, those who aren't fans, I totally respect your reasons why. I respect your opinion on it. And for those who are fans, I support y'all 100%. And we can all have the excitement and the enjoyment of seeing these guys beat the hell out of each other in the ring. But I'm here today to talk about those who criticize it. And being a wrestling fan, and many of you being a wrestling fan, I'm sure you heard this a dozen times growing up and even now. Wrestling is so fake, why bother watching it? Some people call it a waste of time, and some people claim they would rather watch something more realistic. Now, my views, I think there are a lot of things wrong with that statement, and I would like to address it right now. I'd like to share my thoughts for anybody who's watching this video and thinks the same exact thing. First off, yes, we know it's predetermined. We know the winners and the losers are chosen in advance before the actual match happens. But the reason for this is obviously it's entertainment. Things have to be planned out, and they will try to make it as fun as possible. They want to give us a good storyline. That's the thing about WWE. But to actually go as far as to use the word fake, I think that's stepping over the line. That's going a little bit too far. People take WWE lightly, but they never really understand what these superstars really go through on a daily basis. It's a lot harder than you think, especially working with Vince McMahon, as many have mentioned before. And I like to say that the majority of these moves are obviously real. Moves can be held back a little bit when you're working with somebody, because the thing is to not get hurt and not get injured. So that's definitely a safe bet. But in the end, you're still going to land on the back, on your back when you're taking a suplex, and you're still gonna hit the mat, for a lot of moves, and that catches up on you because that mat is no mattress. Now, the key to actually pulling the matches off is also a key factor, which can also be stressful. Obviously, it depends on how much chemistry you have with somebody in the ring who you're working with. And as a superstar, it's their job to try to outshine everybody else who's on the card and get the most reactions out of everybody there at the live event. And if you're working with somebody who doesn't like you, chances are your matches are going to suck, and they would probably go as far as to actually hurt you. That actually has happened before. People literally try to hurt others on purpose due to those reasons, or to take them out of the main event spot. But that's only one of the things that could go wrong. As many times the wrestlers practice moves and stunts, they still get injured. Look at Daniel Bryan, for example. He got injured twice at the most important parts of his career. He was out for a long time with a broken neck. Edge had to retire young due to the fact that if he got a neck injury again, he could possibly be paralyzed. John Cena was injured countless times too, and the same thing goes for Batista, Sheamus, who's been injured a lot recently. He just came back. Rey Mysterio, when he used to wrestle, man, he got a lot of knee injuries. Triple H, and that list goes on. The list just keeps going. Now, a lot of people, and I'm not sure if they're serious or not, it just surprises me what people say these days, but some claim that the footage of them at the hospital was fake. But I think people would know if it's fake or not. I mean, why would WWE keep a top star out of the light for that long unless they were making a movie? And trust me, everybody's gonna know when they're making a movie. Wrestlers fight day in and day out with barely any break. And if they're not wrestling on televised events like Raw and SmackDown, they're laying the SmackDown on the actual house shows. And it doesn't end there. Mostly everybody has to maintain their figure by working out at the gym. So you gotta throw that in the schedule too. And then the interviews and any other special events that they have to go to, that's also another thing that they have to deal with, which collides with their schedule. So, and imagine all that while wrestling quite a bit within that week. So it's gonna take its toll on your body. Another thing to mention, most of these wrestlers these days must be in great shape. You can't be 500 pounds doing corkscrew moonsaults onto people and doing certain, moves that other smaller wrestlers do, or even the built wrestlers do. They're athletic, so they can afford to do these moves. And as you notice, Giants don't make it that big these days unless they're the Big Show. And the Big Show is legendary. I love the Big Show. He's awesome. But when Great Khali came in, he had a nice amount of time that he actually dominated. But then things started going down, and then they started writing him in a bad way, and it was just getting terrible, and it was getting cringeworthy. And eventually he faded out. Another note I like to make: you can't fake things like chair shots. Chair shots. A chair shot is a chair shot, and some wrestlers would repeatedly hit you in the face with their fist during the match, and you have to sit there and take it and strike back when it's your time. Hardcore Holly, which is also an older wrestler, being one of these wrestlers who was tough as hell, he was just awesome too. People don't give him as much credit as he deserves, and I mean, that's just the way I see it. But in the end, wrestling is a job, which means you deal with people who you don't like, and rumors will get spread about you at times. You can easily get demoted and boot off if a certain writer doesn't like you, probably look at him the wrong way. He'll probably write you in some weird storyline with you wearing a French maid's dress, doing some unnecessarily odd thing for Sheamus or something. I don't even want to exploit that dark side of the writer's mind. But, as I was saying before, things can get bad for you, and you can get punished, and you can job out most of your career, or the rest of your career, until the punishment is over, or if they dub you worthy when they find something good. Now, I bet if you take any normal person who says WWE is fake, and you give them a wrestler's schedule for just one day, I think they won't think that anymore. I think they would notice how difficult it is, and like I said, even though it's predetermined, it's still rough. It's still very rough. Getting put through tables and tackled through barricades too, and no matter if it's fixed or not, you're still getting tackled, and you're still crashing through things, and you're still hitting the ground. So I think there's no way to really make that less painful if a guy is running at you at full speed. And when you're diving outside of the ring, that's another thing. You're taking the effects of that landing one way or another, and The Undertaker was one who done that a lot of times. He got injured so much, and he was out for a while. He's gotten a lot of surgeries. My hat's off to that man. He is amazing. One of my favorite wrestlers there by far. He always gives it his all whenever he wrestles. But in the end, these are my reasons why people shouldn't take WWE stars so lightly, and the actual products so lightly. These stars do whatever they can to put on one hell of a show for all their fans who are watching. Wrestlers have been hospitalized, as mentioned before, and even some were paralyzed, and many died in the ring. And this is not just including, WWE when I mention some of these things for ring deaths and all that. It goes far beyond to other companies and stuff like that. So, yeah, for those who are stubborn and as hell and still say I'm full of shit, I'll leave you with this. If WWE is fake, how about the other shows you watch on TV? How about the movies and some of the reality shows that are heavily scripted? People mention things about, quote, fake fighting, unquote, in the ring when there's a lot of fake fighting in films. If anything, those films are more fake than what you claim WWE to be. But in the end, that's just how I see it. I wanted to get that out. I respect everybody's opinion in the end, as I like to give mine. So anybody who watched this video, I thank you very much, and I hope everything goes smoothly for you. Take care.